Yep, live on mine too. If I could just move this stream starting soon crap out the way. Here we go. Boom, yeah. Say hello to the
everybody. What's good, everybody? We're doing off topic a little bit early today, you know.
Yeah, we're doing it a little early. We a little off topic, literally. Nia's about to head out of you know what soon, so she's doing her hair. She got to head out soon, so we had to push it up a little bit early. So some of you guys might not have known about this. Some of you guys might come in late or whatever, and that's okay. We're okay with that. But let's just enjoy our time, you know, do what we can do and see what happens. For the most part, we're gonna be talking about the New York, or not New York. I keep wanting to say New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. My bad, y'all. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con and, you know, various things that were interesting to us for the most part. Not going to really dwell on the stuff that wasn't really important to us because I don't see the point in that. That's kind of stupid, right? Right.
Yes.
So before we get started, just do our quick little usual, what we've been playing on, what's been going on in our neighborhood. So I'll go ahead and let Nia take the floor real quick. What you been doing, what you been playing on. I see you in a rush to get the hair on fleek.
I'm in, like, that's how you know we real, y'all. I'm doing my hair
on the stream.
On the stream. So you know we real up in here. But as far as what I've been playing, honestly, I haven't been playing much of anything. I've been knee deep in San Diego Comic-Con stuff. But I've been embracing my comic book side, my comic book fandom, and just, you know, partaking in that. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, I remember I told you and Alex some time ago I was going to start doing content for this nerd site. So yeah. I've been doing content for this nerd site called The Planet of Extraordinary Black Nerds, and we've been putting up San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Like, I have a couple videos up on that channel. Y'all should go check it out. It's called Planet EJOBN, and we've been talking about well, I've been making videos about, you know, Aquaman, Shazam. I had a Titans joint up. You say my mic is too low? I think that's as high as I can get it, but
let me turn her up on my end too.
Yeah, that's as high as I can get it, man. But yeah, so I've been just focusing mostly on like comic books related stuff. Not really a whole lot of gaming, if I'm being real. So that's pretty much been my side of the globe.
I see. All right, well, for me, dang, my volume also is acting crazy. Let me fix it while I talk to everyone. But I've just kind of been doing, you know, just kind of chilling. Haven't really been playing too many games or anything of that nature for the most part. You know, I've been enjoying my time. Just sometimes you just don't feel like playing games, you know? Sometimes you just want to chill. So, but for the most part, I've been just watching baby struggles, just chilling, you know, trying to get my papers, make that cash, all that good stuff. I had recently been kind of trying to finish up Shadow Colossus behind the scenes, but I think I'll go ahead and stream some more of that. Played a little Stardew Valley or whatever. Trying to coax my dad for some birthday money so I can get some more video games. Because I'm a daddy's girl. Because I'm a straight up daddy's girl. Because he was like, look, I want you to come visit, but I know how you are. You're probably going to want some money. And I was like, well, you know me so well. So, you know me so well. Why would you ask such silly things, father dear? But it's all good. It's all good. I love him. He's cool dude. So yeah. But so that's pretty much it. Nothing special, nothing gravy, nothing too exciting. So just as a heads up on my stream in the background, you're gonna see some videos of what's going on, of the trailers and things. Right now is just the cosplay of San Diego Comic-Con and all that stuff. So you'll see a little bit of this and that in the background. That's essentially all that's going on. Everything's muted, so unfortunately no sounds. But if they're talking, I'll try and put on the captions so you can at least see what's being said. But with that being said, San Diego Comic-Con. Seems like it was interesting this year. Seems like there was a lot of interesting things. I know I was interested in some stuff. I know Nia was quite interested in some stuff. She's gonna take the floor in some areas on certain topics because there's certain things she wants to talk about, and I think I'll let her have the floor on that before, and then we'll all get into the same thing together. So, first on our list is The Gifted.
Yes.
And I'm gonna play a trailer of that in the background for you guys while we talk about The Gifted. Yeah. How are we feeling about The Gifted, Miss Nia?
The Gifted, man. So I don't even know where to start.
I know. Season 2. Okay, so I guess I'm not gonna give away anything, but the premise is just like, you know, X-Men still exist to an extent, but nobody has seen them for like forever, I guess.
It has something to do with the latest X-Men movie. What was it? Apocalypse. Like, remember how when if you ain't seen Apocalypse already, I'm sorry, spoilers, whatever. But
yeah, I don't care about that.
If you haven't seen Apocalypse, basically what happened, more or less, all of the freaking X-Men were wiped out because of certain things that had happened. And so they talk a little bit about that on the show The Gifted, and then like there's this small group of X-Men currently in the show right now that are currently trying to quote unquote live up to the reputation and live up to the promise that Charles Xavier and the X-Men had for mutants. And then there is a potential threat who's kind of bringing in that whole Magneto type vibe to the whole situation,
but with heels.
Yes, so that's what season 2 is gonna be bringing to the table. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just kind of had to do that little prelude so they know where we coming from when we talk about it.
No, I needed you to do that because I couldn't quite get all that. So thank you. She's very helpful. But for the most part, season 1 just came and went, all that good stuff. And season 2 is there's a preview, a trailer in the background of season 2. And essentially, we got like a new baddie with some heels and beautiful
and she
hair.
looks so bad.
Girl is working it.
She's working it.
She freaking me out because you know them business women, they don't play. They about their business.
Yeah.
And you mess up they business. There she go right there. So you mess up their business. She about to have. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know who she is, but I'm not gonna say nothing. She's from season 1. We've seen her before. We've seen her before. When Homedew needed a favor for what's her name? For Polaris.
Yeah.
It's her. It's her. It's that chick. Okay, so we didn't give nothing away. Don't worry. We didn't say no names. Nothing got given away. But if you haven't seen The Gifted, I would advise you to go and check it the hell out. Get up to date. It is actually one of the best X-Men-esque movie or TV shows I could say out there. If you really want a real feel for how X-Men can be and how it can still have some fun and still have some seriousness and not be cheesy with the costumes and all that other stuff.
The Gifted is as good as
it's gonna get.
I'm not even gonna say as good as it's gonna get because it's legitimately good. But that's like what it should be and what Fox should have been doing with the X-Men to begin with.
The X-Men to begin with. Yeah, they should have been doing this already. So, so we got all kinds of crazy crap going on. People are essentially what it seems like for me in the video is that there's 2 different factions, the mutants, like normal. You got your Xavier faction who want to live up to how the X-Men were, try to live in coexistence with humans and all that stuff. And then you got your Magneto guys who basically want to get rid of all the humans and
anybody standing in their way,
right?
Including fellow mutants.
Right. So if you ain't on their level, they ain't got time for you. You got to be eliminated. And we have a one chick from season 1. I'm not gonna say names. I'm not gonna give nothing away. Just kind of give you a premise. But we have a chick from season 1 who's pregnant, and she wanted to do the X-Men thing, but it didn't turn out well. So she decided to go ahead and go to the other side and try to make a better place for her, baby and stuff.
Right.
While her baby daddy stayed with the Xavier side of things.
Right.
So it's like a battle between those 2. Plus, you have 2 siblings who seem to be quite powerful.
Yes.
When they're together, but when they're by themselves, they're kind of fumbling with their powers, trying to figure out who they are. And they're teenagers, obviously, so they're young, impressionable, trying to figure out how life is going, trying to figure out how to deal with their powers, and dealing with their father and their mother who didn't know that they were mutants. Yeah. So and their father, who happens to be I guess he was some kind of lawyer or something.
Yeah, he was a lawyer, and then whenever his his kids found out that they had powers, then they have to go on a run because, you know, being a mutant is basically illegal. Right. So
yeah. So yeah, they went on the run, and you know, and a lot of different adventures ensue. And one of my favorite X-Men from actual X-Men later in the years during the Age of Apocalypse is actually in this freaking thing. So she's awesome to me. They did a good job with her. Blink. I like her.
Oh yeah. I love her.
I like her. They actually did Blink justice.
Yeah,
she was in the movie, but they didn't do her right. She was in the movie, but they fucked that all up. I'm like, no. So anyway, so they have quite a plethora of different X-Men from actual X-Men lore, some from some made up to be part of this show, and then others who are actually well known. So there are some well-known X-Men, well-known mutants from other factions of the X-Men, like X-Force, X-Factor, all those other things. So it's a really interesting show. It's definitely interesting. First episode drew me in almost immediately. It took me a while to get on there because Miss Nia was like, can you please watch Gifted? I can't handle this by myself.
I know.
It took me a while to get into it, but I finally started to watch it. So I'm happy about that, because she was like, look, bro, if you don't freaking watch this day old show, I'm gonna be mad. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. She was so mad. She was like, hurry up.
So yeah. I'm definitely very much interested in the Gifted season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And to those of you guys out there who do like the X-Men, there's also another thing that you can watch called Legion. It's kind of more showing like the creepy side of the mutant stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
Legion, yeah.
Yeah, where shout outs to Hog Whistle for blessing the stream on Twitch. I appreciate you, Hog Whistle. Yes. Watching me twist my hair and everything, trying to get this afro right, boy. I'm gonna dry this mug. My afro gonna be big and lush. I'm so excited. Anyway, so Legion is more of like the creepy side of mutants.
Yeah, and mental illness. Like
and then the Gifted is more just like the tense, dramatic part of what it is to be a mutant, but not so much the scary side, more like the legal type.
It's more like the adventure. It's more the adventure side, and stuff, the stuff that most X-Men go through. Whereas Legion has a mental issue, mental illness.
Yeah, it's more like a psychological
thriller.
Yeah. If you like X-Men, I think they're both great shows. Sometimes Legion is too much for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I had to stop with Legion. So I'll pick it back up, but it got to a point. I think I'm on the last 2 episodes, so I have nothing left to, I still echo in the background.
And I'm one of those kind of people, like, I'm such a coward. There's like certain things happening. I'm like, oh my god! I'm hiding behind Daniel. I don't want to see.
Oh no, my stream is down. What?
Oh no!
Hold on 1 second, you guys. Give me one quick minute. Keep up talking to you.
Yeah. So man, it's just like Legion is, if you like psychological thriller, kind of creepy side type of stuff, Legion is definitely the one for you. But I mean, I think if you like X-Men, Legion and The Gifted are both things that you should definitely look into, because they show the different aspects of what it is like to be a mutant. Hey, shout outs to the homie Gorilla for the $15 donation. He says, all I need is Rogue and Vampire Jubilee. Nia doing her beautiful hair is kind of ASMR-like. Yo, that's interesting. I'm just trying to hurry up because I gotta go somewhere, so...
Yeah, she's trying to multitask out here.
Being a little ratchet and being a little multitasker, so it's all good. It's all good. At least y'all know. All right.
So my stream is, I guess, showing videos even though they're not like.
You should turn those videos off. It's probably doing with my.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn them off. It's already. Apparently, it said it got copyrighted. I don't know if Can you still see it, Cag?
Yeah, I would just take them off or just put the off-topic thing in the background.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore.
Because last week when we were trying to do this, like my stuff was too much for the stream. And it was freezing and junk.
That's unfortunate.
So I have to just put a static picture in the background this time.
All right. Well, what I'm gonna do is stop my stream and restart it. Fuck it.
That's cool. That's what's up. So
right.
While we are in a quote unquote intermission, while Coupon gets her stuff straightened out, to those of you guys who are currently watching right now, man, I want to give some shout outs to you guys, and I want you to tell me if you saw anything that was interesting to you from San Diego Comic-Con. You know, mostly we talk about gaming and stuff like that, but a lot of us have other interests, you know, outside of gaming as well. You know, some of us like comics, some of us like movies, some of us like TV, and, you know, everything in between. So, did y'all see anything that was interesting to you? Or what? Shout outs to Unforgiven in here, says, welcome to the No Alex podcast.
This is the podcast where we kicked him out.
This is where we can talk about all of our, because, you know, Alex is not really into stuff outside of gaming, really.
At least to my knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't know,
not really. He's not. Like, he's mostly just like a gamer. And he will talk about anime sometimes, but he's not really like deep into like a whole lot of other stuff too.
Yeah.
All Day Digital say, what's up, y'all? What's good, All Day? How you doing?
Hello, welcome aboard.
Let's see. Cherry Man Gaming says the only X-Men I knew about were the ones from the 90s. So I'm kind of in the same boat to a degree. I don't really know a whole lot about X-Men except for what I grew up with the cartoon, because I didn't really read the comics and stuff, but like
I was the comic aficionado.
She was like deep in the X-Men comics, so I don't really know a whole lot.
And that's kind of funny because she's the DC girl as far as comics are concerned, and I'm the Marvel girl.
So it works out perfectly.
But we ain't got no kind of like beef like most people have. It ain't no stupid stuff like that. Me and her both love both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just what we.
We just more knowledgeable about certain things because it's what we were exposed to. Like I was more so exposed to DC growing up. She was more exposed to Marvel stuff growing up. So, but we could talk about them both. You know what I'm saying? We are multifaceted individuals.
Oh yes, most definitely. It's not that big.
Shout out to the fighter guy in the building.
Oh, that's what's up. Coming on board, getting it done.
Your stream back up?
It's back up. It's just there's nothing in the background. So it's just a big black screen in the background and just me and Nick. So it's whatever.
It's all good. Shout out
today today was like a ghetto stream anyway because we both were pretty late and just all sorts of stuff happened that was out of our control. So apologies for the copyright on my first little stream. Apparently it wasn't letting me stream because I was showing the stuff in the background, but I thought if I had at least put it on, mute.
You know how
and had our videos up front in front of it. Maybe they had our pictures. The
YouTube goons gonna come. They gonna come regardless. The YouTube goons.
I'm so over YouTube. I'm gonna have to ask my viewership to go to Twitch and Mixer because I'm so tired of YouTube.
Absolutely.
I am so tired of YouTube. But anyway, we ain't gonna worry about that. So damn, I don't have the topics open.
I got you. I got you.
Cool.
All right, so
I had to close them. So
it's all good. I understand. I got it. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is the Aquaman trailer. So Coupon, you had a chance to see the Aquaman trailer, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right. So how much necessarily do you know of like Aquaman and what exactly it is that you saw in the trailer?
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I don't know a damn thing about no Aquaman. The only thing I know about Aquaman is it was one Aquaman that you don't basically fuck with.
The one with the one hand, the hook hand.
Yes,
from the 90s.
That's the one I know because you don't fuck with him. People were like, "Oh, Aquaman sucks." That dude comes on the scene. People listen. You don't play. Captain Hook, do not play.
Yeah,
that's the Aquaman.
That's when they would. Yeah.
But as far as like his lore and story and all that stuff, unfortunately, didn't really get behind it.
For sure. So. Absolutely, and that's not a problem. It's not a problem because we just gonna talk about what we saw in the trailer. So before we talk deep into it, just kind of give me like your thoughts, like your overall thoughts about the trailer.
Trailer? Okay. Well, first of all, Khal Drogo. Girl, let me get a piece of that. Let me get some of that shrimp. Can I have some of that? He can lay right on the table, the shrimps and stuff on there. Yes, sir, a la carte. But anyway.
Oh my God. Shout out to 210 for the host. Thank you, LG.
Yes. But me and my thirst, yes. Let me quit. Anyway. But as far as the trailer itself, oh my God, they got me interested. Piqued my curiosity because at first I was just like, when I saw some posters, the Aquaman poster, I was like, what is
That poster was whack.
The posters is whack. Please fix my boy and fix the posters. That's horrible. Why would you do such a thing?
Like the poster where he's just like in the middle of the ocean and there's like sharks around him.
There's sharks and fish.
That's kind of whack. Yeah, that was.
I'm just like, what is this? Tuna? A tuna advertisement? What are we doing? So after they did that, after I saw those, and then I saw the actual trailer, and I was like, they did a good job. Home chick, the queen, apparently I'm assuming she's gonna be the queen. She got the red hair.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry, I don't know all the names to all the characters, y'all. I apologize.
It's all good. Speak on it.
But the video itself, oh my god, it was wonderful. I love the cinematography of it. They definitely seem to have that down.
Yeah.
And that's usually a problem for Warner Brothers, I guess you could say. But they did a good job with picking. What's the actor's actual name? Not Khal Drogo, but what's his actual name? Okay, yeah, they did a good job with him. At first I didn't think he would fit for Aquaman when they first announced he was gonna play Aquaman for like Justice League or whatever, and I was just like, but he actually fits the character a lot. He's like a new envision
like a different version, but it works.
A different version, but it works. As opposed to the beach blonde guy that you normally get for Aquaman. They actually decided to go a little darker with him, which I'm cool. I'm on board with. It seems like they're following the origin story type of deal where he has to come back and save his kingdom and all that stuff because he didn't know who he was at first. So that's cool. Origin stories. You got to get people who don't really know much about these the characters in, and then stuff like that. Especially myself, I know the gist of it, but this will be a good entry level for me to maybe get a little bit more insight into the actual character itself.
Right. For sure.
So, but overall, I did enjoy the what they showed. It didn't seem like they showed a lot. Sometimes trailers show too much. But then again, I kind of already know the general origin story of Aquaman, despite everything. So it's obviously not gonna be a surprise to me what happens. But if they might be able to present new stuff as far as the movie's concerned. I'm definitely gonna go see it. So they got me on that. So that they did their job. I'll say that much. They did their job. And I'm enjoying it. The characters seem to be lively. They got Mantis. What's his name? Is it Mantis? Black Panther. They got him. He's in the freaking movie. He looked good. They did a good job. I'm like, they did it.
Yeah, he looks tight.
He looks good. So I'm excited. They got everybody, pretty much got all the characters. I didn't feel like anybody was out of place. It didn't feel like anybody just, sucked in their role. And you could tell immediately when you watch these comic book type trailers and stuff, when you could tell immediately when somebody just doesn't fit the character. You're just like, ugh. So I didn't have that at all. So I enjoyed it immensely. So
yeah, well, I guess I'll get my take on it. I know a little bit about Aquaman, but I'm not like a super fan of Aquaman or anything like that. But I do know of him because like we mentioned before, I know a lot about DC stuff. But like as far as the trailer, man, like I'll say I was really impressed. I was really looking forward to the trailer, especially being like a person who does like know these characters, because like one thing that we definitely know for sure is like Warner Brothers has not done a very good job of bringing these DC characters to life, really.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They've been really struggling, like I guess aside from Wonder Woman, which I actually really enjoyed.
Which they actually did a good job on.
Like they've been really struggling to bring like these like DC characters to life, because like one thing that I've always kind of felt like with like the especially like the newer DC films, like after like the Dark Knight trilogy and all that stuff, was like it almost kind of felt like they were kind of like ashamed of their comic book roots. Like they didn't want to bring that much of a focus to the fact that these characters were like from comic books, and that some ridiculous things do happen in comic books. It's like they were trying to make them too grounded and too real, and I think that was a lot of the problem. Which is why, in my opinion, Wonder Woman was like really a breath of fresh air, because she just was who she was, and unapologetically. So when I heard that the Aquaman trailer was gonna be at Comic-Con, I was really looking forward to it, because I was like, okay, I want to see, did Warner Brothers and DC films actually learn their lesson and just like let these characters be who they are, like not turning these characters into something that they're not. Like, why are you making a broody Superman? He's like the least broody person in the whole like comic verse. You guys, like, there's no reason for this. No, Adam, we haven't talked about Titans yet. We're talking about Aquaman.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. And so I was really just impressed to see that they actually seem like they're learning with their live action. I like the fact that they actually went deep into actually showing you Atlantis and like what the possibilities can be like for Atlantis. I love the guy who plays Orm, aka Ocean Master, who looks like he's gonna be the main person, the half brother. I love the way Black Manta looks. I have my reservations about Jason Momoa as Aquaman, to be honest, because I do know that there's like that rough and tough version of Aquaman from the 90s where he's got the hook on his hand, but that was kind of one of their attempts to kind of get him out of the shadows of Super Friends, where he was being made fun of all the time about being this weird dude who talked to fish, and you know, so it was kind of like one of their attempts to try to make him cool. So like, I get that, I understand that, and I feel like in a way they're still kind of trying to do that with this movie. And like, don't get me wrong, like I like cool Aquaman, but I also like regal King Aquaman, who's like a diplomat, and he's, you know, he's on the serious side. I kind of don't like the fact that Jason Momoa is doing his typical Jason Momoa woohoo surfer boy stuff. But if he can make the character his own, because that does happen, you know, these actors do have a way of making these characters their own. I'm not saying everything has to be exactly like the comics. If you make it your own and you make it interesting, then hey, I'm with it. Right. I just hope that they show the growth of what a king is supposed to be and what a king is supposed to look like. Because basically, to those of you guys who don't really know who Aquaman is as a character, he's basically DC's Black Panther. Like, he's serious, he's a king, like he's on his business, he's trying his best to bring the surface world and the world of Atlantis together. So I want to see him grow into that role. And I just hope it's not too much of that surfer boy stuff, because that's not bad. I don't like Mara's hair. I think her hair is she's a petite lady, and that wig she's wearing, I feel like it's too big for her body. But I mean, it's not like a big deal. I love Nicole Kidman as the Queen. I think she looks great. But overall, I'm just really excited. Like, I didn't expect that I would ever be excited ever in my life about an Aquaman movie of all characters. Right? So it's just really bizarre that we live in a world where an Aquaman movie looks interesting. But I think that's just a credit to who the director is. James Wan is the director, and just having this vision for this world and for this character. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Oh shoot, who's calling me? Oh shoot, my cousin. I'll have to call him later. But yeah, so that's Aquaman.
All right. Guess we'll just go on to the next. What's the next one?
Next one, Shazam. All right. This one I think you know a little bit more about.
Not really. No. Like, I just know about Shazam. I never really got at all into. I don't know the first thing. All I know is Shazam is a kid who turns into a superhero, and it's goofy as shit.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
And I left it at that. I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
So what do you like about? Did you like the trailer? Did you not like the trailer? Like, what's up?
The trailer itself. Oh my god. Okay, so the trailer itself is actually pretty freaking interesting. They do keep a lot of the aspects of the game. The show or whatnot. They keep a lot of the aspects of it. As far as like the kid, he's like, I guess he's like a I think in the comic books, I don't remember him being in the comic books, because I remember grazing past it at some point. I don't remember him being in the comic books an orphan. So I don't know if that's something new. I think he always had like his uncle. He had like
it was either his uncle or he was an orphan living in a foster home. So it was one of those two.
Okay, so I guess
both
that's
are
cool.
Right. Yeah, both are correct.
That's not a big deal. So in the comics, what I do know, he had an uncle most of the time. He was living with his uncle, and he would get into trouble a lot, and a lot of stuff would happen. And I guess the only thing I do know is that at some point something happened, and he ended up with these abilities. That whenever he said Shazam, lightning would fall from the sky, and then he would turn into this big, bulky looking superhero dude with cape and stuff, and he just act kind of silly, and he still had that childlike wonder of a child because he is a kid, but he looked like a grown ass man. So it just looks so weird. So with the trailer, they did a beautiful job of keeping to that narrative of him being this goofy kid in a grown man's body. And I like the kid himself.
The kid who plays Billy Batson.
I like him. He's really suave. He really fits that character, that like childish
punk
wonder
kid with a big heart.
Punk kid with big heart who just wants to help, who wants to be a superhero. And then when he finally turns into Shazam, the actor for Shazam actually still has that kind of childish personality. Without being overly cheesy with it, I guess you could say, because he's supposed to be cheesy, obviously, and he's supposed to be like a kid, a kid in a man's body and all that good stuff. So it's really interesting. But like I said, I don't know the bigger understanding of the comics and stuff. So this will be a nice entry level for me. I never really got too deep into that story. It just wasn't for me. I guess I just was, like I said, I was more of a Marvel girl anyway. So DC, it took a while for me to get into anything DC outside of Batman. And you know how that gets. Everybody goes Batman first.
Right.
So I'll admit that. But I do like what I saw. I can't deny that. I definitely like what I saw. And I'm definitely going to go see it. They got me.
Definitely,
they got me interested.
Now, this was actually a movie that I was actually really worried about. Because like the production time and all that stuff was like really fast. Because like they hired this man, and then like 3 months later he had to bulk up, and then they would start like filming and junk. So like they haven't really been producing this movie that long. So I was kind of concerned, like would they really be able to pull this off in such a short amount of time?
I know, right?
But after seeing the trailer, I see what they're going for. Like they're not really going for like that big epic bombastic adventure like Aquaman. They're going for more like small scale like kids movie, but still has like some epic elements to it. So like I understand now like what they're really going for. It's kind of more like small scale, but like some big stuff happens, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like I do like what I saw. I do like the kid who plays Billy. I know a lot of people have been saying that it seems like the actual hero Shazam seems like he's more goofy than the kid.
Yeah, like, he does.
But you gotta remember, like in the trailer,
he's still a kid.
Like at the trailer, but also we gotta remember too, like the actual kid, he's not in like goofy situations. Like he doesn't really have an opportunity to be a kid because he's passed around from foster home. He's not gonna be goofy when he's being passed around from foster home to foster home and running away and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
and plus he's like. It kind of makes sense how they set it up because he is like this troublesome kid. Yeah. Doesn't really get a chance to actually be a kid.
He doesn't get a chance to be a kid.
And then like you give him abilities. He's in a grown man's body and now he has like powers, and so he's like he's seeing it from the wonders of a child in a grown man's body. So obviously the actor of of Shazam himself is going to be like kind of goofy in nature because he has to portray him being a child. Right. So that's all that is.
And then it's also like something good is happening to him for once after all of this bad fortune and stuff. Like something cool is actually happening to him, so he could actually express himself in like this childlike manner. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it makes sense in that respect. One thing that I wish that they would have done though is that I wish they wouldn't have put so much padding in his suit because it's so obvious.
Yes, it looks weird.
And it's like I don't know if it's like that on purpose because they wanted to look like comical for the movie, or if it's just because the actor himself didn't have enough time to get the muscle to be
because Shazam is normally buff. I think he didn't have enough time to get buff, and so it makes him look kind of weird. So they had to pad him up, and it's like y'all didn't give him enough time to
just make a suit that fits his current body. Yeah, just make him look how he normally looks, but just make it look tight. Like just keep the body he already has, and like I don't see how that would be a problem. Because he's not like, I mean, he was a skinny dude when they casted him, but he did bulk up a little bit. He still has enough of a body to have a suit that's for his current body. Like, they didn't have to make him look buffer than he actually is. I feel like that looks sillier than just giving him a suit that fits the current body that he has. You know, because it's like he's got these big muscles and then he's like got a little neck and a little head. It just doesn't look right. Just make the suit that's for his body and just let it be. It just doesn't look right.
It does look goofy, but I mean, at this point, it's like, well, whatever.
Yeah, it kind of works at the same time because, like I said, it's supposed to be goofy.
Yeah.
So it's like, it kind of looks like they did it on purpose, even though I don't know if that's really the case.
Right. Like, did y'all really do this? Like, is this what y'all wanted? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not too, it doesn't take away from the overall, you know, what they got going on. But it's just, it was distracting for a quick second after he's transformed and he was like, I was like, that's it? He ain't got no, like, because I'm so used to like Shazam in comic book format and in like the cartoons and stuff. He usually is a big dude.
Yeah.
He usually is a big dude, just a goofy big dude.
Right.
So this guy, we obviously know this guy doesn't have the muscle mass for that. So they had to pad him up, and it's cool. It's fine.
You know what else
I could work with it
for sure. You know what else I feel like is weird too? When he transforms, like usually there's like lightning effects and stuff around him. I feel like that was lacking. Like
it seemed like it just happened. Smoke. It just happened, and that was it.
Like
it's
where's like
Shazam?
Yeah, like where's the lightning and stuff? Like it's supposed to be like this big epic thing, but it's not. Happened. I hope they fix that. You know, they still have time to fix it because the movie is still in post production. Right. But it's like it's kind of like it has no flair to it the way that he transforms in the trailer.
Right. So it's just like, that's it? Okay. Like, I don't know. You would think in the trailer they would add a little bit extra just to kind of.
Hopefully in the trailer too they actually show that stuff.
Yeah, but who knows? It's fine. They didn't. I'll say one thing. They didn't show too much as far as the trailer's concerned. They just you know, kind of. They showed just enough. So I'm kind of like that. I'm kind of tired of trailers showing way too much these days. Yeah. So I'll admit, Aquaman. Shazam did not show like overly too much. They gave you just enough to get your you know, attention, and then that's it. And then they were like, hey, we're done.
Yeah, for sure. But what about that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? That is tight.
Miles Morales.
Finally, Miles Morales in a movie.
In a freaking movie.
And there's some people out there like, why he gotta be in a cartoon? Like, who cares? He's in a movie and it looks great, and the animation looks great.
Right, take what you can fucking get. Like, Jesus. Sometimes you can't get everything,
you know.
And I know that, you know, there's he can't even be actual person in a movie. I'm like, the voice actor is black. Calm down.
Yeah, he is.
It's okay.
Yeah, he is. I like what I saw.
I did. Yeah.
I think really like they didn't show a new trailer of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at San Diego Comic-Con. They showed some exclusive footage that was panel only. But we're just talking about it because it was one of the things that did come out of the Comic-Con that's kind of reminded me of the movie and that it's coming out and that it's a thing that's being made. One of the things that I do like about it, I really like the animation style to it. Like I was kind of telling you like yesterday, like the way that the animation looks looks like comic booky, but like 3D.
Yep. You know what's funny about that? There was the panel. They did show a little bit. They talked a little bit about the panel in the Comic-Con. And they said that was their vision from the start. They wanted to make it to where people felt like they walked into an actual comic book. And I was like, they did it.
I love it.
They did it.
It looks great. I love it.
It's wonderful.
How do you feel about the way they portray Peter Parker in this?
It's kind of funny because it makes sense because he's washed out at this point. You know, he's Spider-Man since forever, and he's just tired and he just doesn't know what to do with himself, and it makes sense.
I love it.
It's not that they're turning him into a bum, because there's some people like, oh, they just made him into a bum so Miles Morales will shine more. No, they didn't think about it. He has been Spider-Man for forever. This dude is tired.
Yes.
He wants to hand over the mantle, but he doesn't believe anyone's capable. Yeah. There's a kid who actually has abilities like him, and he's like, dude, I can actually fucking take a damn retirement. I can retire. Are you shitting me, son? Help.
That's what I like about it too. It kind of adds like this whole like
it's a different dynamic.
Yeah, like it adds this interesting dynamic, but like the dichotomy between the two personalities, you know. It's like
right.
I like that a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not really like a super hardcore Spider-Man fan, but I'm actually okay with this version of Peter Parker. I think
I'm okay with it. It took like
he looks interesting.
It was interesting because I was just like, is he like a deadbeat? He's a deadbeat. Oh my god, it was so funny. I thought about it. Like they made him a deadbeat.
I think he's funny. I think he's gonna be
hilarious.
He's gonna be probably one of the funniest parts of the movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think it looks tight. So I don't really know much about Miles. Do you know a lot about Miles?
Unfortunately, no, not really.
Because I don't know if this is like a good portrayal of Miles or not. But a lot of people seem to be excited about it. So
there's a lot of people who are like, that were hardcore fans.
Yeah.
So I'll say that maybe this is a good portrayal. I'll tell you one thing: he doesn't seem like cookie cutter. He doesn't seem cookie cutter, and he doesn't seem stereotypical. I'll say that.
I like that.
They didn't do stereotypes. He's just Miles Morales. His dad loves him and makes fun of him, which most dads do.
Yeah.
And he's just a kid with a superpower that he has no understanding of, and he knows that this other Spider-Man is a hack.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But he knows that he ain't gonna learn nothing from anybody else. So
it's gotta
be
him.
He has no choice.
Yeah.
So he's like, and he even says, he's like, you're not tutor or whatever. Like, so he knows, you know, he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
He has a cool head on his shoulder. I think this is a good portrayal of any Spider-Man. Peter Parker, it makes sense. He's, washed out, tired, wants to retire, just wants to hand over the mantle, but knows if he lets go that bad things will happen, and he just doesn't feel right, just ignoring his duties as, Spider-Man.
Shout out to SM Taylor too for the host. Thank you.
That's what's up.
I like that.
Did
they ever announce who the villain was going to be in this movie? I don't think they have.
I don't think they did, and I'm glad they didn't, because I get tired of them doing that. So they did. They did that with the video game, and that was.
I didn't like that. I didn't like
that.
I don't.
They showed all those guys, and it just took all the hype out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, and they still talking about, there's still one more. I'm like, yeah, but one more. You showed us all.
I would prefer to have found that out just playing the game.
Hey, welcome to the stream, Indio. We're just talking about San Diego stuff, and we're talking about Spider-Man into the into the Spider-Verse.
So we've talked about The Gifted, we've talked about Aquaman, we've talked about Shazam. We're currently talking about Spider-Man, and we're going to be talking about Young Justice, Titans, and She-Ra, and then that's going to be our show. So if you're interested in any of these topics, make sure you stick around, because this is what stuck out to us at Comic-Con.
At the Comic-Con. So we're not talking about everything. This is mostly the stuff that interested mostly.
So let's talk about, let's go ahead and delve into Young Justice. I think we've exhausted the Spider-Man topic. I'm very much excited for Young Justice. Yes!
I'm so excited. It's been forever. I remember watching this show. It was like 2 seasons of it, and then they just said, we're done. And I just said, the hell?
You know why? And it's the stupidest reason too. They stopped airing the show, even though the show was still getting good ratings. They stopped the show because toy sales were low. Like, I understand it was a kid's show, but if the ratings are good, why does it matter if the toys are not selling?
Like, y'all some dumbasses for that.
Toys are not selling anyway.
People don't buy toys anymore. They're into electronic shit. Like, who's the dumbass? Who's the dumbass behind that
That's
decision?
What I want to know.
I want to find him. Because you an idiot. Who's buying toys? Hell, Toys R Us just went out of business. That should tell you something.
Toys been on the decline for a minute. But let's talk about this trailer, though. This was a big trailer. Showed a lot of stuff, a lot of new characters, some of them that I recognize. So, thoughts?
Okay, so let me see. So I have the actual. I'm not gonna show the trailer, but I need to look at the trailer to see what we got going on here. So
there was so much.
Because I know in season 2, if you ain't seen it already, that's too damn bad.
Because I mean, it's been a long time. You should have seen it
already. It's been a long
already.
time. You should have seen half of this stuff. But in season 2, you had Artemis and fucking Wally. What's his name?
Wally West.
Yeah, Wally West. Is that the one?
Yes. The redhead.
The redhead. Okay, so yeah, those two. I guess are they married or they just dating?
They were dating.
They were dating, and I guess Artemis went to go undercover with Aqualad to figure out some undercover stuff going on. I don't remember the whole premise. It's been a while, but she goes undercover. They fake her death. And Wally is devastated, obviously, because he thinks she's really dead. But it's an undercover thing between Aqualad, Artemis, and freaking Dick Grayson, right?
Well, that Nightwing didn't know. He was clued into it after. But the only ones who knew was Aqualad and Artemis. They were the only ones who knew about what was going on.
Okay, so he knew about Aqualad though being undercover though. He knew about that. He just didn't know that. No, he knew about that because he was talking to him.
Okay, yeah.
But he just didn't know about Artemis being a part of it because he had told Aqualad not to bring them into it.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. And so it's a big what to do, a whole bunch of stuff going on. I really need to watch both those seasons over, so I'm gonna go back and watch them before I watch season 3, obviously. But for the most part, it just looks like with this new trailer, like there's some really underhanded shit going on. People are getting hurt. Mofos are dying. It's a sad day in Young Justice world, but
yeah.
Oh my god. It looks like it has something to do with the Blue Beetle. It looks like his people are starting to invade Earth.
Because you remember last season, that's what happened. Like the people who created the scarab on his back are an alien race called the Reach, and they were coming down to Earth to try to invade Earth. And then one of the characters, I think he got away or something, and I don't know. It was a long time since I watched it too. But I know that was a big to do, and like that was like a big deal. And then Wally West ended up dying, so we think. Yeah. Ain't nobody ever dead in comic books.
They hardly ever stay dead. Like.
Nobody's ever really dead in comic books. But he ended up dying when they were trying to, stop that whole process with the Reach and whatnot. And then, I'm sorry. And then at the end, we find out that freaking Vandal Savage is working with Darkseid. I don't really know what that's about because that was like a little 5-second thing. So I guess we're gonna figure out what's happening in season 3 because that's kind of where it stopped or whatever. And so basically, what's happening with season 3 is after all of that stuff happened with the Reach trying to invade Earth, and then Wally West dying, and I'll put it in air quotes
because we don't know.
Because we don't know. So when after Wally West died, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and then Aqualad decided, okay, well, you know what? When we first created this team, it was us and Wally. We were the founders of this team, and we don't think that we could go on without Wally.
Thanks so they were follow, Misery.
And then shout outs for the follow.
Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you.
And so what they decided was like, okay, we're gonna do one more mission, and then we're gonna be done because we can't continue on without our friend. Like, how can we start something with all of us and then end it, and then all of us are not here? So they found out that there was some business going on with basically some human trafficking type situation with some metahumans, which are basically the mutants of the DC universe, people with extraordinary abilities and stuff. So they're gonna go find the metahumans and figure out who's taking them and what they're doing with them. So some of the new characters that are being introduced into this into season 3 is Black Lightning and Black Lightning's daughter Lightning, which I'm really excited to see them in animated form. They're bringing back, Nightwing, Superboy, Aqualad, Blue Beetle. Static Shock is coming back, so that's pretty exciting. I know, right? Let's see, Tigress. Well, Artemis is becoming Tigress again, and she's returning. Some character who looks like he may or may not be Forager, which is like this bug type race of people who live on New Genesis and Apocalypse from the New Gods, if you guys are familiar with that. It looks like he's either Forager or he's related to those creatures or something, I don't know. Some old hero who's coming back from way back in the day, his name is Geoforce. I don't really know what he does, what his abilities are, but he's coming to the show. And there's some other people who are coming to the show that I can't think of at the top of my head. So that's going to be really exciting. So we're going to be pretty much getting to for those of you guys who watched maybe Static Shock back in the day, remember in Static Shock, like the whole premise of Static Shock was to go and find the Bang Babies, the people who were also affected by like this radiation that happened in the city, and that's how Static got his powers. So it's kind of gonna be a show like that. Like they're gonna be finding all the metahumans and what they're doing with them, and if there's any experimentation going on. So that's pretty much what's gonna be going on with season 3. And then also, of course, in the process, Artemis is going to be trying to sort through, you know, her grief, because she's still grieving over Wally dying, as well as Nightwing and Aqualad. They're still grieving as well. So, yeah.
That's a lot. I'm glad you. It's been a while. I gotta get back to it.
I'm barely fresh on it, because me and Daniel we rewatched season 2 like some months ago.
Oh, you must have. Oh, okay. It was fairly recent.
Like it's still kind of like I don't really have like a good memory. So
you have better memory than me. How long has it been since season 2?
I don't even know.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was a stupid idea.
10 years or something like that.
It's a dumbass idea. You know, cancel over toys. Like, really, y'all that thirsty for money that y'all can't understand that the show was actually
actually popular and doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah. So I'm excited. I would advise
a
people.
Gay merman who can't fight. You
Excuse
don't know
me?
Aqualad. Aqualad can fight.
Okay, stop. I'm gonna need y'all to stop, because Aqualad be fucking shit up in that
Aqualad is a beast, okay?
He
Go
is a
watch
damn
Young
beast.
Justice.
You need to
Aqualad
watch
is a
Young
beast.
Justice.
Yes, he will wash you. He will wash you.
Like, he don't play. He's on the same level as freaking Nightwing and shit.
Yeah.
Like, he'll give you some work. He'll give you some work.
Absolutely. He will give you that work. So do you have anything else to talk about Young Justice, or
not really? I think you can move on. Yeah, and I think that's good enough. But yeah, I'll just say this. Go watch the first 2
go
seasons.
watch Young Justice.
Get ready. Go watch some Young Justice and come back. And I don't know when it's supposed season 3 is supposed to.
Yeah, they haven't announced when it's airing.
They haven't announced it yet, so we'll keep you posted, because we definitely looking out for that.
Yeah,
we can go to the next topic.
So let's talk about something mildly related to these characters we just discussed.
You do this. This is your part.
Let's talk about the Titans live action trailer.
Fuck Batman, right? Fuck that.
Fuck Batman.
Fuck Batman. Because fuck him.
Oh my god. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you the floor first.
No, you take the floor, because I'm gonna put it like this. Okay, look, I guess this is me. I saw the trailer, and like I said earlier in
shout outs to Misery and for the subscribe on Twitter.
That's what I'm talking about. Yay! Came through for both of us. That's what I'm talking about. But so earlier in the podcast, I was saying that when you watch these trailers for like superhero movies, you know immediately when the actors and stuff portray the character well. This is when they do not portray the character well. If this is supposed to be Dick Grayson and he over here talking about fuck Batman, it sounds like Jason Todd to me. Jason Todd would be like fuck Batman. Ain't no Dick Grayson fucking no Batman. Like no. Starfire. What in the hell is that?
No.
Who did that? And not her, not the actress. The people behind this movie.
Stylist.
Who the fuck? I'm sorry with my language. Who in the hell? Well, who said this was okay? Not the actors. I'm not mad at the actors at all. This is all the production staff and the directors and all them people who are in charge of putting together this damn thing, who thought this was okay. There's no Dick Grayson in any universe that would be like, fuck Batman, first of all. And I don't know what Starfire was what they're doing with Starfire. That's annoying as hell. You have Gothic
Raven.
Raven.
She looks like a regular girl.
This is a regular Gothic chick. Just I need your help. Please help me. How do you know who he is? What? I don't know, whatever. And then Beast Boy is decent, I guess. Beast Boy's okay, he's decent. I don't know who else was in there because I just kind of tuned out after a while because
I feel like the only people in this show who were properly cast for Beast Boy, if he had better styling, and Hawk and Duff, I feel like they're the only ones who, okay, they're right. But like you said, I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said because I have the same thoughts.
Go ahead, I'm done. I can't. Let me play.
That is not Dick Grayson. I don't care what nobody says. Yes, Dick Grayson did have this one moment in the comics where he wanted to become his own man and be his own person. But here's the thing with comics that a lot of people forget about comics. Comics have been around for decades and decades on top of decades.
Right.
Comics have been passed around from writers to writers, and every writer has their own interpretation of what this character is and not. Just because there's one or two books that has Dick Grayson acting like this doesn't mean that that's who he is as a whole. Just like we were talking about with Aquaman before. Like, there's this one little part of Aquaman from the 90s where he was like this rough and gruff person and he had a hook for a hand. That was a thing that happened. But overall, that's not really who Arthur Curry is. This is one of those situations. That's not Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson he did not want to live in Batman's shadow anymore, but he didn't hate Batman. He just wanted to be his own man. He wanted to be his own hero. He wanted to do things the way that he would do it for his own standards. That's when he branched off and became his own hero. He became Nightwing. He doesn't hate Batman. He sees Batman as more of like a brotherly figure. He's more of like a mentor, but he wants to do his own thing. So for them to be acting like he just has this deep hatred for Batman, like, y'all got the wrong Robin. It's Jason Todd who has this deep hatred for Batman because of the fact that he won't kill the Joker, even though the Joker damn near killed him. He did actually when they brought him back to life with the Lazarus Pit. Right. And then he came back a completely different person, very murderous, very vengeance-oriented person. And then he became a super homicidal maniac. Like, that's Jason Todd.
Right.
Like, y'all are crossing the streams between
Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. Like, Dick has had moments where he was upset with Batman and they had their fights from time to time. That's just like a father-son relationship, right? But that he never disrespected or just disowned Batman out of his way. He just wanted his own identity. Yeah. He knew that he was, under Batman's shadow. Yeah. And he was tired of it. So he tried to branch out, tried to do more with himself. And I've never known a Dick Grayson to be so hell-bent on, like, to just be like, fuck Batman.
And then so brutal. Like, he's like breaking dudes' collarbones and breaking jaws with his foot. Like, first of all, that's not even his fighting style. He has more finesse to his fight. Because, like, he has like roots in the circus. He's like a gymnast. So he's got like, he does like flips. Like, he has different ways he fights. He doesn't fight like a tank like he did in his trailer. Like, that's wrong, but that's a nitpick.
But that's a nitpick too. Yeah, that's like,
that's a nitpick. But as far as his personality, like, that ain't it. And then Raven, like Coupon says, she looks just like this. I mean, I don't hate her, but I feel like they could have done more to make her look more like this half demon, half human girl. Cause she don't look like that. She just looks like a regular goth chick, and she looks weak. Her hair is weak. Her costume is weak. Everything about it just looks weak. Beast Boy looks okay. He just needs to look more green, like he looks. But I think that the actual actor portraying him, I think that he's a decent Beast Boy. I feel like the age of Nightwing or Robin is off too. I feel like he should be a little bit older. And I feel like, or if he's not, he might actually be 20 something, but he looks hella young. He looks like 18, 19. He just looks too young to me. And then Raven, she's way too young. She's like 12. Like, she needs to be aged up just a little bit. I feel like she should be at least like 16, 17, something like that. Yeah. Starfire, all the way wrong. Her hair looks jacked. Her costume is jacked. Her shoes are jacked. Everything about her looks jacked. Like, the stylists didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't know what they were doing.
I'll say this. The human people look okay. Like, Robin looks okay. Hawk and Dove look okay, but Raven, Beast Boy, Starfire, they just missed the mark with their styling. Like they just look the worst to me. And just the overall tone, just let's get off of how they look, because we can talk about that all day. Aside from how they look, the tone of this trailer for this show is so off. Like, there's like a lot of dark things that happen to the Titans, to the Teen Titans. Like, obviously they face a lot of the same threats as, like, for example, like the Justice League, but yeah, the biggest difference between like the Teen Titans and the Justice League is that the Justice League, first of all, is a group full of grown-ass people who only get together to fight off, like, global threats or threats that affect them on, like, a global or universal scale. But they're not really, like, a family of people. Like, they're cool, but they're not, like, a family. Whereas, like, the Teen Titans, they're more like a family. They're like the X-Men, basically, where, like, they're a group of outcasts that have these abilities who try to do their best to help people, even though people don't like them or they're outcasts, you know? Like, they want to help people, but they find community and friendship and family with each other. And in this trailer, like, you don't see none of that. It's like just dark and gloomy, and it's like, that's not who they are. Like, at the end of the day, even though that they're outcasts, even though that they face all of this negative stuff, and they're having these growing pains because they're young people, so they're maturing, you know, they're growing up, you know, they're becoming into their own and figuring out their identities and stuff. Like, even though they have all of these different things going on with them, there's still like this factor of like hope and optimism like within them still. And like this trailer like just does not like portray that at all, and I don't like that. Like, that really turned me off. It's like, I don't understand why Warner Brothers and DC always feels like they have to go against their comic book stuff. Like, the reason why people, even though it's corny, the reason why people like the CW, like, DC stuff is because they embrace their comic book corniness and their comic book, like, absurd things that happen, like King Shark in the middle of the freaking city. Like, they embrace that stuff. But then when it comes down to some of this other stuff, like Batman versus Superman, and now with Titans, it's like, we don't want to see gloomy heroes. Like, embrace your comic book side, embrace the absurd things like, that happens in these worlds.
I've always wondered, like, when did we say we wanted superheroes to be all dark and gritty and stuff? Like,
you know why? Because they have Batman syndrome. That's the biggest problem with DC.
Like,
they
Batman
are so obsessed with Batman
for a reason. Like, that's his,
that's his style. Everybody ain't that.
Everybody else ain't that though.
They have
like, everybody's Batman.
Shout out to the Mad Queen 88 in the building. Mad Queen, yes. Go subscribe to the Mad Queen 88 on YouTube. She's a very cool lady in gaming, and she keeps it real all the time. So go check her out. But yeah, you're right. Everybody ain't Batman. Batman is who he is. That's his style. That's his shtick. But if you're trying to bring that darkness into other stuff, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's so stupid. It's like, what are y'all doing? Like,
it just doesn't work.
I'm Batman. No, not everybody is. Shut up.
And you notice how the dude that plays Dick Grayson, he even had that grizzled voice. Fuck Batman. You're not Batman.
No, you're not Batman.
Dick Grayson.
Fuck you. Shit.
Oh my god.
Like, it's just so dumb and childish. It's like every hero has their own identity. Like with Shazam, he's a kid in a grown man's body. Exactly. Do you see? Would it work if they ran around and he was like, fuck so and so or whatever?
Fuck Superman. Like, no.
No. He's like a kid who don't even know the first thing about being a superhero, let alone being in a grown man's body.
That's what I like about
Yeah, he can run around talking about fuck Superman.
That's what I like about the Aquaman and Shazam trailers, because they actually are true to who those characters are, and they're not trying to be like Batman. Like, they're not trying to bring that essence into those characters. And Prime said, blame Christopher Nolan for everything being Batman. You ain't wrong though. After the Dark Knight trilogy, they thought, oh, people love this. Let's make everything like Batman.
It's like, no, you do not make everything.
Adam, you make a good point. He says, other thing I didn't like about Raven was her cluelessness. Like, come on the series, she knew it and hid it. So she knows Trigon is her daddy. She knows she's half demon. So she's acting all clueless. Like, you know who you are. You know you have this in you already. Why do you need Dick Grayson for help? You know who you are.
Like, you just want him to help you for what?
Shout out to Stew9X for blessing the stream on Twitch.
Blessing the stream.
But yeah, so anyway, we've got all our hatred out of the way. I think it's safe to say me and Coupon hated the trailer.
Yup.
We hated this Titans TV show trailer. And you know what the messed up part about this Titans trailer too? This is part of their incentive to get people to subscribe to the DC Universe streaming service. And I'm just like, that's not a good look. No, maybe y'all should have led with Young Justice, because people actually might pay for that. Ain't nobody paying for Titans.
No, I mean, there's some dumbasses out there probably will, but they power to y'all, but Nia, nah, we good. We gonna pass on that family. But I will say this, on another side note, with all the stuff that's going on with Titans and stuff, the deal with Starfire,
we definitely talk about that. Yes.
Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. Go ahead, take the floor, because you seem to know. I didn't read up on to know, but like apparently there's a lot of hate going on.
Lots of hate. All right. So, to those of you guys who are unfamiliar, the actress who plays Starfire, her name is Anna Diop, beautiful lady, very beautiful, dark skin, has been getting, like, let's keep it real, everybody's getting hate. People are hating this Titans trailer. But the type of hate that the Starfire actress is getting is on a whole other level. This woman has been getting personal hate from, how can I say it? From fanatics. That's, I guess, a nicer way of saying it. Basically saying that she's miscast because she's a black woman. Starfire shouldn't be black. And they've been making a lot of racist and derogatory comments at her just for her involvement with this project. And it's been such, it's been done to such an extreme degree to where Anna Diop has disabled all of her comments on Instagram, and she has taken down all of her pictures off of Instagram except for like maybe 5 or 6. All of these pictures being related to her career, especially anything having to do with Titans. And yeah, so that's a thing. So I kind of want to say this before I get into the whole spiel of this anyway. Starfire is an alien from a different planet who can literally be played by any person. So it doesn't matter if they're white or if they're black or if they're Hispanic or if they're Asian. Because she's not a real person. She's fictional, so it doesn't matter. So I understand hating her look, because I hate her look.
The look
I
is
think
horrible.
her look is trash. But to attack
being
somebody,
mad at the actress? No.
But to be mad at the actress for one, and to be going after someone because of their ethnicity is wrong. And I understand we're nerds. We love gaming. We love comics. We love movies. We love all of this stuff. But there's a certain level of I feel like that's a certain level of decency that we should have still towards people. Like, even if I expressed my hate about the Titans trailer on Twitter, but I never made it personal. I never was like saying personal things about these people in a way that would be dehumanizing to them. Mm-hmm. But some people don't really know the lines between people don't really know the line sometimes between being a fan and then being straight up like an indecent person. Right. And I just think that it's really like one of those kind of things to where we have to be mindful and we have to be responsible, and we have to be just mindful of the things that we say on the internet, because these things do affect people on a real scale. Just like Mad Queen mentioned, the same thing happened to Rose from Star Wars. Like, yeah, words are not just words. Like, words mean things, and words do have the ability, in my opinion, to materialize and become living, breathing things. And in the case of, like, we were talking about this yesterday, Coupon, the man who played the voice of Jar Jar Binks, is getting so much hate from Star Wars fans that he considered committing suicide. Like, when it gets to the point where, like, your hatred can be so extreme, it makes people lose their self-confidence. It makes people feel like their self-worth is not valid.
It's non-existent.
Like, they don't want to exist. You know what I mean?
Like, first and foremost, put it like this. I get it that we have, like, we as fans of things, we take things a lot seriously. We want things to be as perfect as possible. We want them to portray the heroes, the characters, and everything as perfect as possible. But you need to take yourself away from the situation for 2 seconds and realize they didn't cast their selves. They were casted by production companies. And production companies. Those are the people who made the decisions to cast them. And whether or not you do not like how they look, whether or not you do not like a Jar Jar Binks character, whether or not anything, it is not the actor who is to blame at all. And even if there is someone to blame, you do not go at them with death threats. You don't go with them with death threats. You don't tell them to go kill themselves. You don't go to their personal, social networks and stuff and tell them how much you hate them because they're playing a certain hero or character or whatever. You don't do that. Period.
Yeah, it's just
you just don't do that. That's not okay. That is you being a horrible person. Period. A horrible human being. I'll say it. That is a horrible human being that you are being, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my stream is acting funky, but at the same time, like, I don't like how Starfire looks, but I'm not gonna go to the actress and tell her she's, a horrible person for being rolled as it. That's the directors in the production company did a horrible job. As far as her, like the person who put the makeup on her and did her costume, those are the people that they're the ones you should be upset with, but you still shouldn't be attacking them. You should be telling them, hey, what's up with her outfit? Couldn't you have done this or that? Maybe do this or that. Like, you don't go and attack people because of something that is out of their control.
Exactly.
They were just cast for the character. That's it. That's all. And she's doing her job. And regardless if we like the way, you can criticize her for her acting. If her acting wasn't on par, criticize her. But don't attack her. You don't attack her for that. Like, if her acting sucks, then hey, look, as you're an awesome actress now, but I'm sorry I wasn't feeling your work for this role. Maybe read up on the comic book. Give some constructive criticism.
Yeah, but not like on no personal attack type stuff. Now that's a whole other level of. That's a whole other level of shenanigans, man.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Speaking of fandom and backlash, we want to talk about She-Ra before we bounce.
What was it? Oh, She-Ra. Did they? She-Ra, right?
She-Ra.
They didn't show anything, did they?
I don't think they saw a trailer. I just saw some artwork of She-Ra and people responding negatively, saying how everybody's ruining our cartoons.
So I haven't seen the picture. But for the most part, as far as destroying our, cartoon, like old school cartoons had a nostalgia about them that was, cheesy, corny. We'll say it. They were cheesy, they were corny for the time period. But then you have Thundercats Roar, taking from what Thundercats, which was fairly serious, had some it was a serious cartoon, but it still had some quirky fun to it.
Yeah.
There was an adventure, and then at the end of it, almost
check
every
Discord.
episode.
I just put a picture of the new She-Ra.
Hold on.
Everybody's making fun of her, calling her Hera, but y'all don't realize she's a little girl in this. She's not an adult in this show. So I don't really know. I don't really know what people's tripping about, to be honest. But I'll be honest, I didn't really grow up with He-Man and She-Ra. I was born just too late to experience actually growing up with those TV shows.
I know what they're doing with this one. Okay, with that picture, they're trying to do a they're trying to do a Sailor Moon anime type.
That's what it looks like. That's what
they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do with that. I can see that.
Yeah.
They're trying to do some kind of Sailor Moon-esque, vibe with that. And I mean, it's not bad. I don't hate it, honestly.
Alright, so this is what I want to say about She-Ra. So She-Ra's been getting a lot of hate because people are saying that she looks like a boy. I personally don't think she looks like a boy. I just think she looks like a girl who's growing still. She's not a grown woman yet. She doesn't have the curves of a woman yet because she's not a woman. She's a little kid. Yeah. And I think that people are overreacting. Like Coupon said, like there's some instances of TV shows like totally like going against what we know and love for characters. Like for example, Thundercats, like that's obviously supposed to be like a big joke. And then the way that a lot of people don't like the animation too as well because they think that the animation is like lazy. And I mean, I guess you can argue that it's lazy. But that's just what kids are watching these days. Like that's just the way that shows are. Like
that's what I think. It's like I think. Oh, thank you for the donation.
Hey, shout out to the donation.
Supporting the struggle.
Hey.
But I just have this to say. It's my thing with you have to take into account from the 80s and all our cartoons were meant for that time, and they're rebooting a lot of these cartoons. They can't keep the same nostalgia of the 80s because we have all grown up. We're all adults now. And so now they have to cater to the younger crowd.
Exactly.
And so with the Thundercats Roar, as much as I can't stand that piece of shit, I'm gonna say it, I don't like it. I understand where they're going with because there's people who are there's young kids who are watching, your what is it, the Steven Universes and things of that nature.
Adventure Time,
Adventure Time and stuff.
Gumball,
and
all that stuff.
I have to say this, there's a video I was watching about cartoons and how they evolve. Interestingly enough, in this video they were talking about back in the cartoons and how they catered to that general young crowd, and all the cartoons during that time, the Hanna-Barberas and stuff like that, had the same kind of art style.
Exactly.
They had the same
I was
kind
just
of
gonna
art
say
style.
that, but you know what?
And now today the art style is that
Steven Universe type of style.
I mean, as much as we may not like it, we're grown adults, and they
ain't gotta cater to us.
They're not catering to us. They're catering to the crowd, the young crowd of today, and they like the Steven Universes and the Martys and the whatnot and stuff that's out there. They like those kind of art styles now, and not the ones from the Hanna-Barbera era. So we have to understand that. So as much as I don't like them taking from what I grew up on and not making something original, that's where I draw the line. It's like you're taking my childhood to recreate something for a child today, and they're gonna identify with that and not the real, true, authentic stuff. And then and then at the same time, you have no creativity.
Yeah.
Why you gotta recreate my stuff? Like,
yeah, they should definitely take out. I definitely. Hey, shout out to Rapidy Rapper for the donation. Yay! But I think I agree with you. I think that they definitely should be more original. They need to be coming out with some new cartoons and stuff like that. At the same time, I do think that people are overly nostalgic. And people criticize things before they even give them a chance. Even though I do think Thundercats looks like...
The Thundercats, I'm not
because it looks legitimately... Look yeah, Thundercats looks... She-Ra looks like it could be okay because it looks like...
The thing I have with Thundercats is because, if you put Thundercats back to back from the 80s Thundercats to the current one, the Thundercats Roar, you can't tell me that Thundercats Roar is just a slap to
it looks like a parody.
It's a parody.
Yeah, it looks more like a parody.
It's not taking anything seriously, even though cartoons you shouldn't take seriously. But it's just saying, okay, we're gonna take the name Thundercats, we're gonna rework it with Steven Universe cartoon, make it some slapstick, crazy
comedy and stuff,
cartoon comedy. And the damn show itself was never about comedy. It had some in there, your little moments where you would laugh and giggle, but it was mostly a seriousness. It had a couple of moments where it's about adventure and action and stuff like that. And then at the end of the show, it taught you a lesson.
Yeah. I think that's the problem I have with Thundercats. It's obviously a parody because it's not taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
But I don't get that with She-Ra, even though it has a similar art style. Like, it kind of has, like, that simplistic, like, art style.
Yeah.
It still seems like it's gonna have, like, a story. Because, like you said, like, when you first saw, like, the banner for Netflix, it seems like it's kind of going for, like, that Sailor Moon type vibe, where it's, like, magical girl doing magical stuff.
And it might be a good thing.
And
because,
it might,
I mean,
yeah.
that was my Sailor Moon back in the 80s.
Right.
Was, you know, She-Ra and stuff. You
right.
know, so it could work. And I'm not mad about it. I see who are upset. I can understand that, but at the same time, the big difference between Thundercats Roar and She-Ra is I don't see She-Ra being made to be like some kind of caricature.
It doesn't look like a parody.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a parody or like they're trying to not take it seriously. It just looks like they're reinventing her, and that's cool. I can work with that. But Thundercats Roar is not a reinvention.
They're not reinventing them. That's just a straight up parody.
Yeah, they're literally taking the name. They're literally taking the name, doing whatever, and it's like, no, stop, get out of here.
I don't think She-Ra looks like a little boy. I think she looks like a young girl.
She looks like a little girl. She just looks like a young 14-year-old princess.
When I was a young girl, I didn't have boobs. Like, I did, but they were like little bumps. You know, like, it took me a while to grow into my body. Like, she's not a grown woman like She-Ra was a grown woman.
And I think that's what people are having a problem with, is that She-Ra was a grown woman, who had curves and whatnot, and you know, she was a grown woman. She's still a princess and everything, but then she got her powers and she'd go out and bust some butt. And you have this new She-Ra, which is pretty much a 14-year-old girl.
She's
you
a
know,
girl.
coming into her own, doing whatever. And I think people are kind of just like, huh?
Like, and I don't see I don't see the disconnect. Like, I can understand the people who are nostalgic about the art style. I totally get it, because I personally think the cartoons we grew up with look better than the cartoons that they're watching now. But at the same time, people are not taking into account that this is a little girl. She's a kid. She's a kid. She's not a grown woman. So she looks like a kid because she is a kid.
Like, that's just all I see. I just see a little kid. I don't see a grown woman
as long as they compensate for the story, I don't see how that's a problem.
Like, if they don't screw up the story,
it's not a parody, you know.
Yeah, if they don't screw up the story, if they're not trying to turn her into some kind of caricature and, you know, make fun of the whole story itself, then I'm cool with it. But like Thundercats Roar, no, I'm not cool with how they're doing that, and it's fine. It's for kids of this, you know, of this day and age, and I'm just gonna have to accept that and move on. I obviously am not gonna watch it, so
it's not for my demographic, really so
it's not for me. So it's no point in me being super upset about it.
I just think sometimes people get overly nostalgic about things.
They get really caught up. Yeah, they really get caught up. So
when you look at kids, boys and girls pre-puberty, a lot of boys look like girls and a lot of girls look like boys. It's pre-puberty. They're kids.
They're kids. Why is that?
I don't understand why that's an argument. I don't know. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal to me. I didn't grow up with She-Ra, so I don't really care. But I just think people just gotta remember she's a kid, so she's not gonna be curvy. She's a kid.
Yeah.
If she's a curvy kid, that's kind of a problem.
Here's the thing. Do you really want that cartoon style to have curves? Like, look at the cartoon style. Do you really want that to have curves?
It would look weird.
It's a little pedophilic. Just a little. Like, it just, no, I don't think I want that art style to have. Sorry.
I don't know. I think this banner looks fine. I think she looks okay.
I think she looks fine. When you making me for a minute, but then I was like, oh, this is fine.
Like, it's just a simple art style.
Yeah, it's just, Sailor Moon-esque.
It's fine.
I think they're gonna take a magical girl approach to She-Ra, which is fine. It's cool, you know, because it has like an anime style to it.
That's what it kind of looks like.
It has like a little kind of cartoon anime style, kind of like Powerpuff Girls, like, you know, the original Powerpuff Girls, not that new.
Yes. It does, doesn't it? I agree with you.
So I can work with that. It's you know, just give it a chance. We haven't even seen a trailer or nothing. They just have pictures.
Link that I'm looking at, you guys, if you're curious what the new She-Ra looks like. She just looks like a little girl.
This is Stardew Valley I'm playing.
She just looks like a little girl to me, but that's just me. Anyways, you guys, I gotta get out of here. Daniel's pacing back and forth because he's like, okay, we gotta get on the road.
Gotta get going. So yeah, so that's pretty much all we got for today. Apologies for my stream acting crazy. Thank you everybody for your donations. Rapidy Rapper, appreciate it. Everybody who followed today, I really appreciate it. Let me do some shout outs real quick and we can bounce up out of here.
Absolutely.
So, I want to shout out to Tiger. He up here in the chat. We got damn, we all up in the chat. Misery's in. You follow. We got 11 Wire follows. Who else is up in here? We got Jump. Dang, that's an interesting name. Indio, we got up in here. We got, I cannot say your name, but I'm gonna try. Quasi Foster. Apologies if I messed that up. Just wanted to shout you out. We got Jalapeno
in the building. Yay!
We always up in here. So yeah, thank you guys all for coming through. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Unfortunately, the former stream got kind of copyrighted because I had some Comic-Con stuff up, so I had to restart the stream, and I just put up some Stardew Valley gameplay for you guys. So apologies on that. Hopefully I won't have any issues going forward with my streams, but I appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you for blessing the stream, both of us.
Everybody for coming through. Can I give some shout outs on my side before we bounce?
Go ahead. Yep.
I want to give a shout out to Jalapeno. Shout outs to Garuda. Shout outs to I'm J Got. Shout outs to Jump Duke Jump. Shout outs to M Prime, Mad Queen up in the building, Adam, Antium in the building. I saw my homie Digital Man up in here earlier. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Danny Green. I appreciate you guys so much for coming through. And yeah. Thanks again. Talked about Comic-Con stuff and it was interesting. So thanks for coming through, guys.
Appreciate it. So we're gonna go ahead and bounce up out of here. Guys later.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Pieces.